Wasted Water Sports, ahoy! Interesting start to the evening. Wouldn't you know, as soon as the countdown finished, boom, boom, down went the streaming software. What can you do? Technical issues have been rife throughout Wasted Water Sports HQ here in recent times. It is certainly a conspiracy, James. I think what's happening is the PTB aren't very thrilled about some of the conversations that we have, and they're trying to put an end to this. That guy again. Oh, it's about to go to 0. Let's cut it off before he mentions anything about 9/11. All right. Welcome along, everybody. This Thursday night league local derby, Cronulla Sharks, St. George Dragons. Theoretically, it's a game that the Sharks should win. Oh, now everything's old. Everything that was once old. See, the damn thing crashed. Hang on, let me fix the multi. I had everything set up and ready to go. And then as soon as the intro went down to 0, the clock struck 0 and everything immediately went straight to hell. So let's go ahead and get the correct same game multi up on the screen, shall we? Would be useful. All right, there we go. That's looking a bit better. Let's make sure the leaderboard's up to date as well, because theoretically, if one thing crashed, everything else probably crashed too. I mean, I am sorry to tell you that Vobsy is most definitely in the lead. Yep, that is the correct most recent leaderboard. Yeah, Vobsy got himself back up to the top during the Super Rugby over the weekend, if memory serves me correctly. Anyways, welcome along. Technical issues aside, very good to be here. We're back in action with my Sharkies, and it'll be interesting to see how they go. Now, form dictates that they should win this game and win the game quite well, because they have a very successful record against teams outside the top 8. They've also got a very strong record in recent years against the Dragons. So, realistically, all the smart money is probably on the Sharks tonight. But that, quite honestly, as a long-suffering Shark supporter, that is quite often the time when they completely fall to pieces and capitulate. When everything's going their way, when they are unbackable favourites, is usually when things go awry for the Cronulla Sharks. Trust me, I know. Been supporting them all my life. Well, a majority of my life. I actually used to be a Broncos supporter for a little period of time there, if you can believe that. I know, I find it hard to believe too. Anyway, speaking of the Broncos, what a great opportunity to address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room being the Reece Walsh situation. Oh, how good is it seeing the Queenslanders and the Broncos supporters have a cry about the fact that he got suspended and leaping to his defense. Now, look, obviously, I'm mucking around having a bit of a laugh with this whole thing as well, but in all seriousness, look, he's a young fella. Hang on, let's see. Is he on the screen? There he is. Reece Walsh. Game of Mel, ahoy there. How are you doing tonight? So, look, I like to have a joke around, a bit of a laugh, and make fun of the Broncos supporters and the Broncos themselves, Suncorp, and all of that. So it might stand to reason that I'd just be chomping at the bit here to have a go at one of the Broncos players. Look, realistically, it is what it is. I think it's obviously going to become a media beat-up. They love this sort of thing, the media. I don't think it's necessarily as bad as all that, but let's be honest, and Broncos and Queensland supporters, be honest with yourselves as well. Take the goggles off for a second and just realistically, it's not acceptable behaviour to be swearing at referees. You just can't do it. Can't do it. It's as simple as that. And if you do it, you get a suspension. And I know that they're leaping out to his defense and saying he didn't say it to the referee. He was clearly saying it to the referee. I'm sorry. We've all seen the footage. He clearly said it to the referee. Everybody knows it. Just accept it, own it, and let's move on. It'll all be forgotten in a few weeks' time. So let's just get on with the damn thing. Accept your punishment. The punishment is just, in my opinion. That's it. It is what it is. James Strikes Back says, so I was watching the 7:30 report. Hang on, let's get Reece Walsh off the screen for a second. You're watching the 7:30 report this week, and they were doing a report story on the Voice of Parliament, and there was an Indigenous Constitution lawyer. He was saying after the Rabbits win, they were doing a report on the Voice to Parliament, yes, and there was an Indigenous Constitution lawyer, and he was saying after the Rabbits win. So he used the words after the Rabbits win. UFC only fams, ahoy! Sharks to win with Dragons 24-point start, under 56 points scored. 20 returns 66. Well, speaking of bets, let's have a look at my little doozy down there. 4-leg, same game multi. It's a little bit more complicated than my usual ones, so let's run through it. Quite simply, I've got the Sharks to win. Oh, actually, Jay, hang on. Let me do this first. I'm all over the place. As usual, I'm all over the place. Let's finish one thought and then go back to the next one. But remind me, conspiracies. All right, so 4 legs, Sharks to win. Seems like an obvious bet. Sharks, great record against teams outside the 8. Good record in recent times against the Dragons. Seems like a pretty solid bet, that one. This is where it starts to get a little bit more confusing than normal. Will Kennedy, first, second, or third try scorer. Okay? First, second, or third try scorer. Tautau and Moga, you'll see them there on the screen. They're grouped together. Need a combination of those two to score 3+ tries. Does that make sense? Either one of them or both of them together, 3+ tries throughout the course of the game. And last but not least, Jesse Ramian, anytime try scorer. I feel like if it all goes to plan, which it probably won't, but if it does all go to plan, we do know from last week the Dragons have the worst left edge defense in the competition. It means somebody's going to clean up. And the Sharks just need to execute, which has been their problem in recent times, recent weeks. So we'll see how it goes. They should win and win quite comfortably. The outside backs should have a field day. But, as always, the key word is should. That's the way it should go. It won't necessarily. So, 4 legs, Sharks to win. Will Kennedy, first, second, or third try scorer. Tautau and Moga to combine for 3+ tries. And Jesse Ramian, anytime try scorer. Vobsy, ahoy! Timothy McCabe, ahoy there. Welcome along. All right, so James, going back to what I was saying before, just talking about situations where we do have to have the discussion. Look, big money business, you have to ask questions. And I'm reminded of State of Origin. It was several years ago now. New South Wales, I believe, were leading 1-0 in the series. And Game 2 was in Sydney. Anyways, there was a graphic that went up on the screen at halftime. An actual graphic, like these fancy schmancy little graphics that I have on the screen myself at halftime before they went to commercial. They were promoting the ticket sales for Game 3 at Suncorp Stadium. And the graphic on the screen during the live broadcast, just approaching the half-time break, live broadcast of State of Origin number 2, the graphic down the bottom promoting ticket sales for Game 3 at Suncorp. What do you think it said? How were they promoting it? The Decider. And I noticed it straight away. And I said to the group of people that I was watching with, I said, did you see that graphic? It's half-time in this game. New South Wales are ahead by 4 to 6 points, it was, from memory, 10-6 or something. So they weren't ahead by a lot. But New South Wales are ahead at halftime in Game 2, 1 up in the series, and they're flashing a graphic up on the screen on Channel 9 promoting the Decider at Suncorp Stadium. How did they know it was going to be a decider at that point in time? See, when there's this level of money involved in things, you do have to ask questions. But anyways, to the game at hand, as the Sharks are coming out onto the field. It is, of course, Beanies for Brain Cancer Weekend. And they've all got their very stylish... Look, I'm making fun of it, but look, it's for a good cause. And that's all that's important. It looks ridiculous, but it's for a good cause. I mean, it does look ridiculous, a bunch of footy players running out onto the field, all in beanies, with whatever designs on it. Not sure. Great cause. Absolutely nothing against that. It does look a little odd. All right, the Sharks at home against a team outside the top 8. It should be a very simple win for them, but let's see. They have a history, of course, of making things a lot more difficult than they need to be. Can Nico Hines rebound and find some form? The form that he had leading into the State of Origin, which absolutely destroyed his confidence, I'm sure. And we are underway here at PointsBet Stadium, Sharks home game. How are you, Gamer Mel? Nice to have you along. It is Blake Brayley's 100th NRL match, indeed. And you know what I say when there's milestones? It didn't work for Jared Croker the other week, of course, but more often than not, it does pay off. So we'll see how it goes this week for the Sharkies, who are looking very solid in their first set. That's what you want. You just want to get through that first set. Hines. Oh, and then error out of... Just as I say, they're looking very solid. Hines shuffles the ball onto Nikora, who wasn't keeping an eye on it. And a 0 tackle. Oh, the very first set of 6 out of territory. And the Sharks make their first mistake of the match. And things are already not going to plan here at PointsBet Stadium. The Dragons, 15 out, will have the first try-scoring opportunity. And they've nearly gone through some flimsy defense there. DeBellin, blindside play. And Lomax is over the line. Did he get it down, Lomax? No. He's driven back into the field of play. They're a metre out. They stay on the blind side. Ravalawa for the corner. Ravalawa plants it down, but was he out? It's gone up as a try, and this is the worst possible start for the Sharks. We just did an entire pregame talking about how it won't necessarily go to script. The Sharks crumble when they're the favourites, and Mulatalo was way too far in field there. Caught way too far in field. Ravalawa plants it down. Ah, I feel like I've got the wrong multi on here. Try confirmed. I can tell you, and it's easy to say this in the benefit of hindsight, but had I done a multi that included any Dragons players, it would have included either Ravalawa or Sloan. Connor, ahoy there. Who do you think will win? Realistically, Dragons, but I voted for the Sharks on fantasy tipping. Well, I would have said realistically the Sharks, but given the Dragons are well and truly on their way to the wooden spoon, and the Sharks' recent years' record against teams outside the top 8 is quite impressive, Can't say the same for teams in the top 8, but yes, that's interesting. Realistically, Dragons. Why would you say that? Oh, Gamer Mel, you work in a call centre now. That must be fun. Are you one of those annoying people that rings up and, as Lomax from the sideline, hooks it around, and even Zach Lomax has got his kicking boots on tonight. Oh, this is definitely not going to script. Zach Lomax kicking sideline conversions. A disastrous start. Disastrous start. The first set of 6 coming out of territory. Ah, I see. You ring people only to return their calls. That's good. Oh, Connor says, fun fact, Valence Tuare, I hope I didn't butcher his name, is your cousin. Oh, very nice. You know what? We've had a few cousins show up here on the Wasted Water Sports over the season. We had, oh, God, I feel so embarrassed, but the Panthers player, Taruva from the Panthers. We had some of Taruva's family from Papua New Guinea jump into the stream that time for one of the Panthers games. Solid set of 6 after points here for the Dragons. Hunt gets a good kick away. So plays, ahoy. How are you doing, Zo? He's Mel Indian. Oh, that is... I don't even know what to say about that stereotype there, Farsi. All right, the Sharks have got another opportunity here. Their second set of 6. A 0% completion rate at the moment, of course. And they're going to get through this one, it seems. 1 tackle to go for Nukin up over halfway. And it is going to be a completed set for the Sharks. Back to Hines. Puts a good kick in. Oh, Vincent Spears. Don't even get me started. An error on the first set of 6 for the Sharks. And then horrible defense. The worst possible start that the Sharks could have had. The only way is up from here, I suppose, is the positive way to look at it. The only way is up. Lomax is playing with a lot of energy to start this match, taking hit-ups now, kicking goals from the sideline. And the Dragons look like they're right up for this one. Molo with a big run. Tackle 4, they're over halfway. Through the hands to the left, Murdoch-Masila is taken down on the 5th and last 60 metres on that set. The bomb for Mulatalo takes it under no pressure at all. But it's a good chase from Ravalawa and Lomax, who just seem to be everywhere at the moment. Very, very enthusiastic start here from the Dragons. Good signs if you're a Dragons supporter. Katoa now bringing it out of territory. Can they hold on to the ball for a second successive set? NRL Braden, ahoy mate. And they earn themselves a penalty. And that is needed for the Sharks to turn this around. Their first real venture into Dragons territory. Can they make a statement and walk away with some points here? Or will they make a mistake early in the set? Hamlin ULA with the first hit up. So the Sharks have it 30 out midfield. Brayley sends it left to Moylan. That's always... Oh, God. I always get so nervous when Moylan's got the ball. Brayley, one-handed scoop from dummy half. Probably not what you want at this stage. When you're 6 points down and there's been a big error already to start the game. I don't want one-handed pickups from dummy half. 6 again for a ruck infringement. This is a chance now for the Sharks to forget about that start. Put some points on the board. Hines to Moylan. Moylan skips. Tries to step through. Can't do it. Not fooling anybody, Moylan. Brayley to Finucane. Dummies goes on his own. And he's on tackle 3. 2 meters out from the line. Right in front of the post. They go to the right. Moylan, short ball to Hines. Cutting around the back. And Hines will score. The Sharks are back. Moylan and Hines combine. Who said before the game started, Hines 20-plus points? Well, here's 6 to start. He's on his way. And there it is. We were talking about this pre-game as well. The left edge defense of the Dragons. And again, that left-hand edge, a try has been scored. No hands. No hands on the try scorer. How many times have we seen that over the course of the season? A try against the Dragons' left edge defense without a defender even touching the player. Wateni Zalesniak had a field day last weekend. First, second, or third try scorer. Oh, yeah, you're right. The Dragons scored one. Sorry. See, I've blocked the Dragons try out of my mind as well. That's what the Sharks needed to do. Very simple conversion here from... Well, really. Simple conversion for Hines should be and is. And we're all... Oh, it's off the... Jeez, he made it difficult. It's off the left-hand post and bounces back through. Was not the greatest kick in the world. But it's over. And it's 6 points all. And that was better for the Sharks. Bobsy says the Dragons just don't slide that way in defense. It's weird. Surely they've gone over it in training. You would think so, wouldn't you? You would think that it's just a basic sliding defense. All teams do it. For some reason, the Dragons just can't. They're getting decimated down that left-hand edge. And if the Sharks are smart, which is a very big if, they'll keep attacking there. Just pile all the attack down that edge. It's as simple as that. Rugby league's a very simple game sometimes. Especially in situations like that. Set after points. They can't afford any mistakes here. Cronulla taking it up towards halfway. Tackle 4. And Hines is going to kick on the 4th. In behind Ravalawa. It's a great kick. It's going in towards the touchline. Ravalawa just gets back into the field of play from his in-goal area. I don't think there was any threat of a 40-20. He could realistically have just let that go over the sideline, Ravalawa, I believe. He ended up putting himself under immense pressure. Now Ravalawa taking the 3rd tackle as well. They're only 10 meters out. This is a good set defensively. A great kick from Hines. Excellent kick into the corner indeed, Shack of Hearts. Fifth and last, and they've got the Dragons pinned down here. Hunt will kick low. He's nearly taken the referee out there, Ben Hunt. And Katoa will run across field before looking to straighten. And that's a good result in the end there for Ben Hunt and the Dragons. The kick isn't really returned for any meters at all. Katoa just ran across field. Setting up the next play, I guess. Now, Sharks playing at pace. Hines stands in the tackle, eventually surrenders. Tackle 3, but they're back in Dragons territory. midfield. Oh, they've got them stretched here to the left. Can they draw and pass? Tapped on by Kennedy. Now to Mulatalo for the corner. Mulatalo, he can't get it down. He's held up. Great defense from Sloan and Lomax, I believe it is over there. Mulatalo has been held up. This will go up as no try, but we will need to have a close look at it. He doesn't seem confident at all, Mulatalo. And that was fabulous defense in the end. Terrell Sloan. I hope he doesn't score it, because we need Will Kennedy. The ball's free. There's Lomax. Lomax gets in over the top. Sloan's got his leg underneath. And this will be held up. Sharks will retain possession. Maybe the Sharks retain possession, because he's very close to the dead ball line here. Mulatalo in the field of play, dead in goal. It's going to be Dragons' ball. Absolutely incredible work there from Sloan and Lomax. Fabulous defense. See, there's nothing at all wrong with their right-hand defense. Nothing at all wrong with it. It's on the left. Imagine if the Dragons' right edge defense was in sync with the Dragons' left edge defense. They would probably be a top 8 team this year. Heel Fries, ahoy mate, how are you doing? What great defense there from the Dragons. Our bet's still on, at least. That's a positive to come out of it, because we need Will Kennedy to be the next try scorer. Otherwise, all we can hope for and cheer for is for a bet return. Dragons, expensive play now. Hunt trying to get a pass on the outside, but Ramian has read that like a book. And Sullivan is crunched. Connor says, holy hell, you have a good commentator voice. Do you ever do professional commentating? No, just this, mate, and thank you very much for the compliment. I'll drink to that. Cheers. Heel Fries, will I be doing Money in the Bank? Probably not, mate. Oh, good kick and chase there, but Mulatalo leaping above everybody. Doing what Teddy can't do and leaping above the pack to come down with the ball. Hot tip, the Roosters will lose their next 3 matches, says James. Interesting. Interesting. I actually think the Roosters win this weekend. Just quietly. You heard it here first. Hines, another good kick. Lots of distance. Lost a distance. And a good chase to follow it up. 3-man tackle. Driving the Dragons backwards. Keeping them pinned down in their own 30. 6 points all. This game is a little too close to comfort. Will, ahoy there, mate. Space out of dummy half. Well spotted by Sloan. And that is not a man you want to see get into open space. Hunt with a kick on the 4th. In behind the line into the corner. Kennedy's back to get it. Ravalawa takes him a little high. Gets away with it, though. Ben Hunt put the kick in. He led the chase. He made the tackle. Leading from the front. So, obviously, I've got the Sharks here, Will. Their record against teams outside the 8 is a lot better than their record against teams inside the 8, of course. Oh, Hines spots a little gap. Nearly gets there. And we've got a penalty here to the Dragons. Take the 2. An obstruction is called here. Hines has skipped around the back of his own man there. And this will be a penalty. Oh, yeah, Brayley's just hanging around the opposite side of the ruck there, Brayley. He did not retreat at any point, and he got in the way. Not a good way to celebrate his 100th game. They're not taking the 2 here, the Dragons. They scored with ease the last time they got this close to the line. Can they do it again? Beating some lazy Sharks defenders down the blind side. They go open side here, though. Hunt runs across the line. Sullivan to Sloan. Fionney almost to the line. They're 5 short. Terrible pass from dummy half. And they will just settle things down here, the Dragons. 10 out from the line. Tackle 4. Pressure on the Sharks' defense. They go to the right. DeBellin. Short ball. Molo. 5th and last. Hunt with the grubber kick through. Sloan was offside there, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't get involved in the play, and Kennedy gets back into the field of play easily in the end. Katoa now shrugs away from 1. Brings it outside the 10-meter line. We need Kennedy to score next. Has to happen. William Kennedy. Get up there, mate. Get up the other end. Get it done. Moylan taking hit-ups out of territory. What kind of topsy-turvy backwards world is this? 5th and last, the Sharks only get out to the 40-meter line. Hines, a little kick into space. Pops up kindly for Sloan. Hines leading the chase and puts him down. Oh, that's a terrible pass from dummy half by Sullivan, and it is well scooped up by Moga. That could have been an error easily. Terrible pass. What a pickup. Sloan again from dummy half. Space. Fifth and... Oh, no. Offload Dragons. It goes backwards. It's picked up by Wilton. And the Sharks will be starting this set from close to the halfway line. That was a big mistake there from the Dragons, pushing the offload. And the Sharks are just gifted quality field position. Now, 6 again. Can they get down into range and get Kennedy across the line for us? Oh, this is a big moment for my bet. A big moment in the game. Hines down the blindside kicks. It doesn't pop up for Katoa. Hines put the little grubber kick in behind the line. There was nobody in front of Katoa. It just needed to pop up. Instead, it bounces forward over the touchline. Oh, Nico Hines. He's not having a good time since Origin, is he? State of Origin being thrown to the Wolves out in the centres has really dented this poor guy's confidence. And he's just trying to overplay his hand a little bit, I feel, to get himself back into form. I mean, honestly, we can all agree, right, that Hines before State of Origin and Hines after State of Origin have been 2 completely different beasts. Oh, and now a lifting tackle. This is going to be a penalty, and this is going to be a little bit of trouble here for Finucane. Finucane could be in trouble here. It is a lifting tackle. You put your life into the referee's hands when you lift in the tackle. Oh, geez. He's in a little bit of strife here, Finucane. On report. Finucane, on report. We're moving on. And the Sharks breathe a massive, massive sigh of relief there. My God. But the Dragons, hot on the attack. 10 out from the line now on the back of that penalty. Hunt to the line. Oh, looking for the intercept, but it's created the overlap now. A simple draw and pass is all that's needed. And the Dragons will score again. And there goes my multi. Oh, the Sharks are making this as difficult as possibly could be. what should have been a fairly easy win at home for them. They are doing their best to throw it away. Over in the corner. There goes my bet. May as well get that off the screen now. It's rather embarrassing having it on there. It's so wrong. And the Dragons are back in the lead with 19 minutes to go until the break. And they are 2 from 3 when they've got into range. The Dragons are icing their opportunities when they are presented. The Sharks, however, down the other end of the field, not taking advantage. Just the one try. And they've been down there 4 or 5 times now. Oh, I'm with you, Shack of Hearts. My heart had literally gone to the back of my throat. I thought Finucane was in big trouble there. Big trouble. Lomax from the sideline. He can't make it 2 from 2. His luck has run out. Pushes that across the face of goal, and it stays 10 points to 6. Yeah, I thought for sure Finucane was in big trouble there. I mean, maybe not a straight send-off, but we're talking 10 minutes. I thought for sure it was 10 minutes. Well, he didn't land on his head, but it wasn't exactly a safe put down. That's the key. You can have a safe put down, but if the player still makes contact with the head, you're still going to receive a send-off, aren't you? Much the same as you don't have to have contact with the head if it's an unsafe put down. He was picked up, he was driven, and his head made contact with the knee of one of the defenders. Anyways, I'm happy with the call. As a Sharks supporter, very happy with the call. But, yeah, some nervous moments there. Oh, and he's finally taken the referee out. He's been trying that all night, Ben Hunt. And he's finally got him. He is doing that on purpose, I'm sure. Absolutely doing that on purpose. He tried it earlier, and this time he has succeeded. He has completely wiped out the ref. Ben Hunt, these kicks purposely going low. HIA for the ref. Yes, James. Yes, send him off. So, if you get 3 weeks for abusing the ref, what do you get for kicking the ball into his face? Just out of curiosity. Should Ben Hunt be a little bit concerned here? Three weeks, very fairly so, very rightly so, for abusing the referee. But this is now physical abuse. Anyways, this tactic of kicking from Hunt is very interesting. Keeping the ball low. Although he didn't when he got to retake the kick. Staying on the blind side here, the Sharks. Moylan, who has actually looked the most threatening of the halves tonight. Hines kicking for the corner. Mulatalo against Ravalawa. Ravalawa knocks the ball on. It's going to be 6 more here for the Sharks. Now, can they take advantage of this field position that's been presented to them? Talakai diving on the loose ball. Ravalawa under the high ball. Coughing up the pill. And now the Sharks are full set of 6. 10 out from the line. Brayley double pumps. And now Hines sends Nakora over. It wasn't the greatest looking, slickest looking play of all. But it's worked. And again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but the Dragons' left edge, a try has been scored without a hand being laid on the player at all. Not a single defensive hand has touched the attacking player. Straight through, untouched. $10 points all, kick to come. Sharks about to be back into the lead here. But boy, they're making this as difficult as can possibly be. Matt Moylan is actually having a good game. That's how backwards we are. This is some sort of backwards weekend. Forget beanies for brain cancer round. This is backwards round. Try confirmed. 10 points all, kick to come. Shack of Hearts says, why is the Dragons' left side defense struggling so much? It's really hard to know because the right-hand side is going great guns. Try-saving effort earlier in the game on Mulatalo. But yeah, this left-hand edge, Wateni Zalesniak got, what did he get, 4 tries? 4 tries on his own last week. Wateni Zalesniak for the Warriors. All 4 of them pretty much. I mean, pretty well, all 4 of them. He was untouched. Whoops, sorry. I just whacked the microphone. I hope that wasn't too loud in everybody's ear orifices. Well, it's the fullback's job, isn't it? It's the fullback's job to be communicating the defensive numbers from the back there. A little bit of a different situation when it's goal line defense like that, though. It can't be a fullback doing it in that situation. Oh, DeBellin's copped a cheeky poke in the eye here, as now Brayley scampers upfield. They stay on the blind side here on the left-hand edge. Why wouldn't they, the Sharks? Hines puts it high. Sloan comes in and takes it uncontested, the high ball. A great take. They need to put some more high balls up towards Ravalawa. 12 points to 10. Sharks. 12 and a half minutes to go till halftime. This feels like the longest half of football I've ever watched. I really feel like it should be a lot less than 12 minutes to go until the halftime break, in all honesty. Whoops, a little bit of a juggle there. A little bit of a juggle from Sewer. But he gets the ball back, holds on to it. A scary sight there for Dragon supporters everywhere. 5th and last. They've only made 29 metres. Hunt dummies the kick. He's going to run. And now they've got an overlap here to the right. Lomax puts the kick in. It's a dodgy kick. And it pops up straight to Will Kennedy. Oh, I feel like they should have taken it on there, the Dragons. A little bit more, at least. Mulatalo had dropped back for the kick. So they had a simple draw and pass to Ravalawa, who would have been in space. You would back Ravalawa to just run straight over the top of pretty much anybody in that situation. McInnes on the field for the Sharks. And they've gone up a gear here, Cronulla. You can just see they've gone up a gear and the Dragons are struggling to keep up. Moylan to the line, stepping around the first defender. This is incredible. Matt Moylan turning back the clock. His contract must be coming up for negotiation or something. Mulatalo gets the second kick in and it's going to dribble over the sideline. And once more, the Sharks' last tackle options are leaving a lot to be desired for. The execution on the kick, originally from Hines, not good enough. And that's put Mulatalo in a very difficult situation. The Dragons will, however, be starting this set 10 out from their own line. The Sharks have gone up a gear in defense and attack. They've just sped this game up to a level that the Dragons haven't been able to go with. But still, no points to show for it. Really. I mean, they've got the lead, but... Now Sloan. Oh, Moylan's even making... Matt Moylan is even making tackles. I have to put my drink down and applaud Matt Moylan tonight. His first half thus far has been absolutely immense. Again, keeping the Dragons under 40 metres on that set. And the kick goes straight down Kennedy's throat. This is much better defence from the Sharks. Yeah, James, I don't think Michelle's coming back for a while. She's very, very upset over the origin. She'll be right once the Broncos start winning again. But yeah, she still hasn't recovered from that origin stream. 6 again here. A third set restart of the game for the Sharks. More points beckoning here for the home team. Hines takes it to the line. The short ball to Williams, who's on the field. They've got the subs on when they brought the bench on. And they went up a gear here, the Sharks. Short side play, Moylan to Wilton. Wilton drags Lomax and Sloan with him. 2 metres out from the line. Fifth and last. Moylan, the kick cross field is perfectly positioned. Oh, Matt Moylan, man of the match. A perfect kick across the face of the goal. And Jesse Ramian will score. Jesse Ramian has scored the try to give me at least one tick on my multi. Try's been awarded. A pinpoint accurate kick from Matt Moylan. I can't believe what I'm saying. Matt Moylan has been taking on the line. He's been the only real attacking threat in the halves. No offense, Nico Hines. He's been making tackles. Now a pinpoint perfect kick. Oh, I swear his contract must be up. Matt Moylan turning back the clock and having an absolute blinder. I mean, remember when he was at Penrith, they were talking about Matt Moylan being the next big thing, and it just never eventuated. A man who never really lived up to his true potential. Anyway, Jesse Ramian was in my multi, of course, for what it's worth. That'd be, I don't even have a tick ready to go over Jesse Ramian. So there we go. I do get my bet back if any leg fails. So the fact that Ramian has now succeeded, it means I'm going to get my money back on the bet. So I'll be able to put a bet on tomorrow night. Well, I tell you what, tomorrow night, as Hines moves in and converts this one successfully for the Sharks to make it 18 points to 10. Yeah, I'll be able to use that bonus bet now tomorrow. And speaking of tomorrow, what a blockbuster contest we've got. Friday night footy. Melbourne Storm versus the Penrith Panthers in what I honestly believe is a preview of this year's grand final. I've been calling it since the start of the season. go back into any of the streams from the start of the year, I have been steadfast in my prediction that it's going to be a Panthers Storm grand final. $18 points to 10. Sharks. Mr. Ed's dead. Ahoy. Playing with pace now. Brayley out of dummy half. They're just destroying the Dragons at the moment. Hazelton's on. And looking good here, the Sharks. They've got their act together here in the past 10 minutes or so. Hines puts the ball high. Moving forward. Moga takes it and has lost it. Oh, he's been deemed to have knocked the ball on. I sense a challenge coming. They're not going to challenge it. Gamer Mel says, I hope I can watch this whole game. My eyes are slowly closing already. I know the feeling, Gamer Mel. Just have a good stiff drink. Straight. Oh, he did knock it on too. Wow. He blatantly knocked that on. I didn't see that live. 5 minutes to go until the break. The Sharks have a scrum. 20 out from the Dragons line. They go left. Moylan, short ball to Talakai. It's well read by the defence, and he's taken down. Talakai's been very well looked after tonight defensively. McInnes, inside ball to Hazelton. Moylan stepping back inside, going for the try line. Moylan is centimetres short. Oh, I can't believe what I'm watching here tonight. Matt Moylan, take a bow. 3 points on the Dally M's. Williams backs into the defence. They're in front of the posts. Centimetres short of the line. Here they go to the right. It's the Dragons' left-hand edge. And oh, it's been knocked down by Moga. It'll be 6 again. Katoa is still not held. If Moga doesn't get a hand on that ball, it's another try against that left edge defence. Untouched for Katoa. Incredible scenes it would be if that eventuated. James says it'll be a Souths Parramatta grand final. Oh, now knocked down by Ravalawa. He picks it up and he tries to milk it. Well, not milk it. He tries to fool everybody into thinking he hadn't touched it, but it was very obvious that he knocked it down. Well, I've got to say, James, I think Parramatta will be in the grand final before Souths are. We're seeing South's true colours the past couple of weeks, in all honesty. And Parramatta are starting to click into gear. But no, I'm afraid I can't see either of them in the grand final. Hines takes it to the line. He beats the first tackle of Sullivan, and he's nearly over. They're close again here, the Sharks. Put a line through the Rabbits. I've been saying that for weeks. And I'm not afraid to stick to my convictions. Hazelton, nearly bursting through. Put a line through the Rabbits, put a line through the Broncos. Brayley out the back to McInnes. Hazelton again on the crash ball. They've got a set restart though, the Sharks. Out to the left. That's a huge cutout pass. Mulatalo's in space. One-on-one with Ben Hunt, and Ben Hunt repels the attack of Mulatalo. 2 minutes to go till half-time. Hines. Change of direction for Hines. Goes back to the blind side. Just setting things up so they can get some shape out to the right. 6 again for inside the 10. Oh, the Sharks, another full set here. Williams with the offload. Brayley, now they've got space. Brayley dummies and goes on his own. Brayley in game number 100. Oh, millimetres short. Millimetres short of the line. They're up quick again. Oh, Moylan. Oh, I've been talking him up all game. I have been talking him up all game, and he's just had a horror show there, Moylan. But it is a penalty to the Sharks. Take the 2. Take the points. A penalty for inside 10 metres. Honestly, with a minute to go till halftime, take the 2. Oh, they've tapped and gone here, the Sharks. I would have taken the 2. Honestly, under a minute to go. Take the 2. They need to score here, or that is a foolish decision. Hines inside to Hazelton. Under crash ball, cutting back in field, and it is a try. They needed it. If they didn't score there, that would have been a big, big call. But they've got the try. Hines, the inside crash ball to Hazelton. And he reaches out and plants it down. The Sharks 22, the Dragons 10. Kick to come. Kick to come from right beside the post. It's going to be 24-10 at halftime. And the Sharks really, considering that they only played maybe 25 minutes out of that first half, this is quite a comprehensive lead going into the halftime break. Remember, they did not start well at all. Hines kicking at 100% tonight to make it 24-10 at the halftime break. Over it goes. Sharks 24, Dragons 10, halftime. Thursday Night League. Wasted World of Sports. I have got to have a very quick break for halftime, and we will be back to dissect all that action momentarily. Right, half time here. You've snuck onto the leaderboard now, Heel Fries. As we update the leaderboard for half time, you've just crept in there. Vobsy still reigning supreme at the top, though. James nipping at his heels. Kirsty Bark, ahoy. Oh, Kirsty, sorry. Kirsty Bark, ahoy there. Long time no see. How are you going? Anyways, if you've ever wondered what happens with the leaderboard and what that's all about, you win a $100 gift card from the super group. So you can spend that at, I can't remember, Super Cheap Auto, BFC, or BCF. BCF, that's where it is. Super Cheap Auto, BCF, Rebel Sports, anywhere in the super group. And you also get your prize announcement from a special guest. Most recently, of course, was a big one. Taking time out of his busy schedule to shout out Vobsy. What a good man.
G'day, Vobsy. Well, ahoy, Vobsy. This is a message from myself, Fletch, and the Wasted World of Sports. Just to let you know, mate, you've won back-to-back VIP titles, another $100 gift card. You've got to go collect your first one, actually. So they're $200. Anyway, mate, well done. Congratulations. And ahoy, the Vobsy. See you, brother.
So, Vobsy is well and truly up the top there, looking for a three-peat. Can he get it? Time will tell. We've got a couple of rounds before the next winner is announced. So we'll see. Should have got Hindy instead. Yeah, but see, Heel Fries, I would get Hindy for you, because of the Parramatta connection. Obviously, for Vobsy, I had to get the Roosters connection. You see? If Michelle wins, she gets Cameron Munster. No, not for you, Heel Frost. Michelle gets Munster. But yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when Michelle will be back at the Wasted Water Sports. She was very, very, very upset after Origin, and I think has earned some time off to get over the heartache of many years of Origin heartache. But as I said, she'll be right once the Broncos will just keep playing at Suncorp and keep winning and get themselves into the finals. They won't win, but they'll get themselves into the finals. And she'll be right. And a little shout out from her main man, Munster. But anyways, halftime here, 24 points to 10 in favour of the Sharks. I've got Jesse Ramian. Thankfully for me, this is an anytime. Hang on, let me confirm this actually. Let me just confirm this, but I'm pretty sure I'm on an anytime. Not anytime. I'm on any leg fails. Any leg fails. Bet return. Yes, bet return, any legs fails, get a $10 bonus bet. So the fact that Ramian has scored that try now means I get my bonus bet back. So that's all good. It's not a complete loss. I'll tell you what, how good was last weekend the return, ever so briefly, of Pencil Pat. It was good to see him again, wasn't it? Huh? It was really the week of cameos from Wasted Water Sports, wasn't it? We had State of Origin and we had Brew and Crowley join the party, and then on the weekend we had Pencil Pat rock up out of nowhere. Absolutely out of nowhere. He popped in for the Dolphins game, Heel Fries. Yes, it was indeed the week of cameos. And speaking of guest host, for those of you who are interested, we will be covering State of Origin 3. For what it's worth. There is a little bit of a story arc to go with Origin number 3, I suppose. Can Queensland get the clean sweep? Queen sweep, I nearly said. Can Queensland get the clean sweep? Can they? Can New South Wales rebound? What do New South Wales do? Do they accept defeat, essentially, and build for the future? Do we see some new names in the team? Oh, yeah. He's in here. He safely stored away in here. Actually, that is not a... By the way, it's not a pencil case, this. This is actually a microphone case. But I thought for the purposes of the joke, it would be pretty random and funny if I just happened to whip a pencil case out from right beside the desk. Anyway, moving right along. Yes, we are covering game number 3. It will just be myself and Crowley. It'll be the Dan and Crowley show. Oh, and Intoxidad. Intoxidad, I believe, is going to be here. It was funny because I was having a chat to Intoxidad last night, and he says to me, because I was telling him about how I've got Crowley lined up for co-host for State of Origin number 3, and he says, am I invited back for game number 3? And I said, I didn't think you would be interested, being a New South Wales fan. Didn't think you would be interested in it being a dead rubber. Oh, well, I'm interested. I want to beat him. See, that is the passion that's lacking from the New South Wales squad at the moment. The passion of the Intoxidad. Doesn't matter if it's dead rubber, I want to smash him. So yes, definitely the Dan and Crowley show for State of Origin number 3. And I've left the ball in Intoxidad's court for whether or not he would like to join us for that as well. So, no Brew, no Michelle at this stage. So we'll see how Game 3 pans out coming up for what it's worth. Oh, I think we all called it. Well, I can't say we all called it. That would be a complete and total lie, James. But I think we knew that New South Wales were going in as severe underdogs. And then when the team was announced, we kind of, for most of us, it kind of solidified that mindset that, yeah, we're in a little bit of trouble here. We being New South Wales. Over on Twitch, Mr. Ed's Dead's just like, everyone talks how violent Americans are. And we're here talking about Queenslanders and New South Welshmen killing each other out on the footy field. We're going to smash them. Viking King, ahoy there. Viking King, another one tipping the Dragons. Can I ask what is with the seemingly overwhelming support for the Dragons tonight? A team that is skyrocketing for the wooden spoon at an alarming rate of knots. Heel Fries says, Dan, you should start streaming on Kick instead of Twitch. What's Kick? Never heard of it, to be honest. James says, by memory, you said 2-1. Oh, I probably did. That sounds like me. Brew Crowley, ahoy! Speak of the devil. The Brew and Crowley show. That's weird. Was somebody's ears prickling up? Because I was just saying how the Dan and the Crowley... Oh, the penalty kick has not found touch. And this is a great start to the second half for the Sharkies. Viking King says, because Ben Hunt is a Queenslander, I must support him, despite playing for the Dragons. Nelson Saga, ahoy there. Another 4 tries after half-time. Go Sharkies. Well, here's hoping. Hines down the blind side. Running out of space. It was a little too blind, that blind side. And now he's been dragged towards the sideline. Great work there for the Sharks, though, to get there in support and keep him in field. They're hot on the attack here, though. Hazelton, the try scorer, right before the break. 5th and last Sharkies. 10 out from the line here. Hines. Oh, it's a kick to the corner. Ravalawa takes this one, but he is picked up and driven backwards. Ravalawa, 4 in the tackle from the Sharks, driving him back in goal and forcing a goal line dropout. They might not have got the result of the dropped ball they were looking for from Ravalawa, but they've managed to hold up the beast and drive him back into the end goal. Great defense there. So yes, everybody in the chat, that is, I'm fairly certain that is the official Brew and Crowley Show YouTube channel there, chatting in the chat room. So if you haven't already, do head over and support our co-hosts from the State of Origin number 2, Brew Crowley, there on YouTube. And quite possibly other platforms as well, I'm not sure. I probably asked them on the night, but I've long since forgotten. I apologize. Sharks on the attack again off that goal line dropout. The second half has started well. Much better than the first half started for them. Moylan looking threatening. Short ball to Wilton. Taken down in the two-man tackle. 5 out from the line here. Brayley scoots across the face of goal and they get all tangled up here, the Sharks. But they keep it alive. Back to Brayley. Kennedy, don't you dare score a try now, you son of a bitch. I needed you for the first, second, or third. You're not allowed to get one now. Loose pass from dummy half. And it was the last tackle. And a fairly meek end of set there from the Sharks. Heel Fry says, Dan, you should do a Rugby League Live Sharks rebuild career mode. What about, what the hell is this? Oh, Steve Smith has recorded an Ashes feat not seen since Don Bradman, moving into number 2 all-time for Australian Test centuries with a brilliant 100 in the second Test at Lord. Sorry. Nicholas, ahoy there. Yeah, I had a bet on this game, and it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. Let me bring it back up on the screen. There we are. I had 4 legs. I had Sharks to win, which is looking good. I had Kennedy first, second, or third try scorer. He hasn't got over the line yet. I also had Katoa and Mulatalo combining for anytime 3+ tries. And the one that I did have success with was Jesse Ramian, anytime try scorer. Jesse Ramian got over the line in the first half. So at least I got one leg ticked off. Anyway, Sharks back in possession here. 24 points to 10. 51 tackles in the opposition half for the Sharks compared to the Dragons 18. 14 points. When you look at the statistics, 14 points is not enough. What have you got going on, Nicholas? I get my bet returned through SportsBet, so it's all good. SportsBet at the moment is any leg fails, you get your bet return as a bonus bet. So Jesse Ramian has made sure that I haven't lost any money. To be totally fair, I was going to say to be totally... Oh, the ball falls for the Sharks. Yeah, I've got to say, Vopsy, in all honesty, broken things that need fixing, it might be better doing a series on how do we fix the Roosters' problems, to be totally honest, mate. The thing about the Roosters is I don't think they're too far off. They just need to find the right pieces of the puzzle. The Eels are on a winning streak, and I would like to say, and I'm sure James and Heel Fries will correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty certain that both James and Heel Fries were very, very down on their team about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And I'm pretty sure it was me that told them, guys, you'll still be there at the back end of the year. Have faith. I'm pretty sure that was me. I said, look, they'll still threaten for top 4 by the end of the year. They got a good draw coming up. Tough start to the year, yes. They'll still threaten for top 4. I hadn't given up on them. And here we are. Here we are. You've got the Eels and the Cowboys knocking on the door. Heel Fries says, did you see Dylan Brown? Well, I didn't see him, but I certainly heard about it. Oh, they've got space now. Oh, Kennedy looks back inside. He had numbers out to the right, Kennedy. Numbers out to the right, but he cuts back in field. It is the Sharks in possession. 5th and last. 20 out. Cross-field kick. It's another decent one. Mulatalo's up above everybody. Takes it. They've just stood back and waited for him. The Dragons and the changeover. 5 out from their own line. So Nicholas has got Sharks winning. Both teams to score 10. Tick. Sharks leading at 30-minute and 50-minute mark. A minute and a half away from a tick there. Well, I mean, it basically is a tick. I don't think the Dragons are going to get 15 points in the next minute, 16 seconds. So I think that's a tick. Neither team getting to 40. Ooh. And only the Sharks getting to 20. Geez, if this opens up the way that the first half did, the Sharks could threaten 40. I would hate for that to be the one that does you in. 5th and last here, the Dragons, they're on halfway. 43-metre gain. The Sharks have done well. Tightening up their defence, keeping the Dragons limited in the amount of metres that they've been making. Talakai, the big sofa with the hit up. I'm pretty sure Sofa's got a couple of cousins in the chat room tonight. Katoa. There were a few cousins of Katoa last week. Oh, wait, they had the bye last week. Week before. Lomax looking for the one-on-one strip against Williams. He can't get it. Moylan spots a little bit of space. Tries to get through. But a desperation tackle from Lomax. 5th and last, Sharks. Hines. Oh, that's not a good enough kick, I'm afraid. Oh, it could bounce anywhere, though. It bounces kindly for Hunt. Hunt with a risky offload to Sloan. Sloan gets away from 1, 2. Still going Sloan. Sloan's going to run the length of the field here. He's too quick. And Sloan is going to run away and score completely against the run of play. The Dragons are back in it. Oh, it was a terrible kick from Hines, and he knows it. Hines is the first one there, chasing back. Puts his hands on his hips. It was a terrible kick. It wasn't deep enough at all. That's what she said. Hunt with a risky offload to Sloan, and then the Sharks were just caught standing still here. No desperation in defence. They all stood back, expecting the play to die. But it goes to Sloan, and Sloan, one of the quickest players in the game right now, races away. Once he got into open space, shut the gate. Oh, the touchy is trying in vain to keep up with him as well. 24 points to 14. Kick to come from right beside the post. It's about to be 24-16, and the Sharks, oh, they just love to make it difficult on themselves, don't they? They just can't have an easy game.
Accelerated. Jeez, it's good to watch when he's in full flight. Sensational. And with that break ball in a little, close the angle for Lomax. Get it back to 8 the difference. 12 into the second half. Scored the first try in the first half. Scored here again.
Lomax from right beside the post. Successful conversion right down the middle. 24 points to 16. And they are well and truly back in this contest here, the Dragons. This one is not over by a long shot. The Sharks, oh, they just keep on making life difficult for themselves, don't they? Week in, week out, they get into a comfortable position and then just throw it all away. But Sloan in open space. It is a sight to behold. Quiet achiever indeed, Shack of Hearts. Sloan has been in immense form in recent weeks. All season, really. Sloan's been one of the Dragons' best performers. Outside the obvious. One try away, Nicholas. Oh, you must be a little bit concerned now. Nicholas in the multi had the Dragons not getting to 20 points. They're suddenly just one try away and playing with a lot of enthusiasm as Jacob Little runs upfield and cops a wedgie for his troubles. A half wedgie it was, if that makes any sense at all. Gamer Mel, welcome back. You had a 20-minute power nap, eh? The Sharks had a 20-minute power nap to start this second half as well. I can't help but notice. They went to sleep there on Sloan, for sure. Fifth and last, Hunt puts it high. How's the kick chase? Oh, the kick chase is good from Lomax, but he drops the ball. And it's a penalty to the Dragons. For what? Escort? A penalty. Oh, Mulatalo's taken Lomax's legs out. Tackling the player midair. Oh, Mulatalo with a brain fart of all brain farts there. He's good for one or two of them per game, isn't he, old Ronaldo? And the Dragons have got a full set of 6 here. 15 metres out from the line on tackle 1. Just to the right of the post. They go open side to the left. This is a big opportunity. Oh, what pressure would be on here if they score. Sullivan, Molo on the crash ball. 5 out from the line. Tackle 3. Still just to the right of the posts. They go left. Hunt. Short ball. Probably the wrong decision there. Great defense. Can't believe I've actually said that about the Sharks. Great defense. Sullivan tries the kick. It's a terrible kick. It's gone straight to Brayley. And now Brayley's away. Brayley just does not have the pace of a Sloan. He gets the offload to Kennedy. Kennedy is wrangled in midfield. Literally wrangled by Jaden Sewer. He's taliced backwards about 10 metres. But it's still Sharks ball. And the Dragons have just wasted a prime opportunity there to get themselves well and truly back in the contest. Oh, it would have been game on well and truly there. Now the Sharks, they will have an opportunity for an attacking kick at the back end of this set, but that's been the problem all night. The attacking kicking has been terrible. Hines is having a shocker with the general kicking. Now Kennedy running around the back, trying to step inside Lomax, cannot. 5th and last. They're 10 out from the line. Moylan. Switch a play to Wade Graham. Oh, they've got numbers here. Talakai cut out pass to Mulatalo. Mulatalo dives for the corner and scores. It's gone up as a try. We'll need to have a look. We'll need to have a look at a couple of things here, but at the moment, it is a try. Talakai was in at dummy half, fires it over to Moylan. Change of direction. Wade Graham back to Talakai. Simple draw and pass. And Mulatalo, he's just got this down in the nick of time. This will be a try. That is a huge, huge moment in the context of the game because the Dragons were hot on the attack down the other end. A loose kick from Ben Hunt. $28 points to 16. The Sharks have marched down the other end of the field and scored. That is a big moment. James strikes back around the grounds with James. Stephen Smith from American Dad is out for 110. Australia, 8 for 393. Probably about 150 runs more than they need. Hines from the sideline on his favourite side. Hooks it around nicely. Nico Hines with the best conversion of his career that I've ever seen. Right on the sideline. Just to add insult to injury there. Another 2 points that should not have been. That is the way that the Dragons will be looking at this. Another 2 points that should not have been. They should have been down the other end. Hot on attack. Instead, they're kicking off and they're looking at a 30 points to 16 deficit. "23 minutes to go. The Sharks well on top. Plenty of time left in this one, though. We've seen the Sharks, they're quite capable of dropping off at any particular moment and letting the Dragons back into this one. Nico Hines, probably one of the best performers in the competition leading into Origin. It's so sad to see what's happening to him at the moment, all because he got thrown to the Wolves by Freddie in Game 1. Bunny Edits, ahoy there. Always the captain. James, always the captain. Welcome along, Bunny Edits. Up, Cronulla. Oh, it's been a bit shaky at times, hasn't it? But as it always is. It always is. One thing about supporting the Sharks is that it's never boring. It's never a dull time. Dragons back in possession here. Struggling to come out of their own end. Moses Suli, he's on the field. He spots a little bit of space. Hunt was looking for a kick on tackle 4 again. They were onto it. Solid defense this time. Buffalo Trace, you say? I've never even heard of it, let alone tried it, to be honest. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. Buffalo Trace. The kick is straight down the throat of Mulatalo. He can't get away from Lomax on the kick return. And the Sharks will start the set just shy of halfway. But they're over halfway now on that run from the sofa. Sofa Talakai, who should not be playing centre. I'm sorry. He is not a centre. I don't understand why they persist with him there. Oh, they've got numbers here to the right. Kennedy goes around the outside. Support inside from Hines. He dummies and goes on his own. Kennedy. Oh, you son of a bitch. I had Will Kennedy for first, second, or third try scorer. He goes and scores about the 10th try of the night. But hey, at least he got himself over the line at some point. It's another try for the Sharks. I thought he had butchered it when he did not give that pass inside to Hines. They are destroying the Dragons down this left-hand edge again. And I really did think he had buggered that up there, Kennedy, by not offloading to Hines. Because Sloan had a radar on his opposite number there. And he never lost that target. But Kennedy, he was close enough and he was good enough to get over the line and plant the ball down. 34 points to 16. Sharks, kick to come. Bunny Edits, who's your favourite player? Andrew Eddinghausen. Oh, you probably mean current player. Try confirmed here for the Sharkies. Oh, 19 and a half minutes to go, Nicholas. 19 and a half minutes to go. The Sharks are one converted try away from the 40. And the Dragons are one try away from the 20. As Hines moves in, he's hooking this one left. It stays left. 34 points to 16. You're still on for the 40 there. What would I have needed left in my multi? Okay, so let's just say theoretically. Will Kennedy scored much earlier in the game. So I still need 2 more tries for... Oh, no, wait. Mulatalo has scored one, hasn't he? Mulatalo has scored. So I would need Katoa or Mulatalo to score. Hang on, let's have a look. Where's the goddamn thing? Okay. Mulatalo has scored 1. So let's just say Kennedy scored much, much earlier, like he was supposed to. I had Will Kennedy first, second, or third try scorer. So let's say Kennedy scored much earlier. So I still need 2 more tries for either Mulatalo or Katoa. Because it's Mulatalo and Katoa combined to score 3+ tries. So I still need 2 more from them. Theoretically, I got Will Kennedy and I got Jesse Ramian. And it's looking likely that I've got the Sharks win. And also, I was going to say, if I had have had a multi that covered the Dragons as well, you remember me saying this right at the start of the game, I would have had Ravalawa and Tyrrell Sloan, both of whom have scored for the Dragons. Michelle, ahoy, how are you doing? Have you recovered from Origin night yet, Michelle? Everybody's been asking about you. I've informed everybody that you're a little bit deflated. Too many years of heartache from the Blues has. But I also said you'll probably be fine. You'll probably be fine in a few weeks' time when the Broncos keep winning, and there'll be no talk of this Origin thing. That's probably why it was paying $51 to the dollar, James. Oh, Sloan looking for the cutout pass. He's cut out everybody. It's gone over the sideline. She was being facetious, Bunny Edits. Is that the word? Facetious? No, Bunny Edits is brand new tonight, I believe. This is Bunny's first time, Michelle. I shouldn't try and use words. Actually, I was about to say I shouldn't try and use words when I don't quite know what they mean. But actually, I should. I should have a word of the day. Just a random thing. It can be a randomly generated thing. Randomly generated word of the day, and I try and get that word into the commentary somehow throughout the course of the evening. Naturally, of course. Sharks back in possession. Oh, short ball from Moylan. Moylan has had an absolute blinder. It must be said, Matt Moylan for man of the match for mine so far. Hines with the kick through. Nakota was offside, I would have thought. But the Dragons come away with it anyway. No, James is not drunk. I think he's just watching cricket, so... Cricket has a very what's the word? Cricket seems to give everybody a general nicety about them. Shack of Hearts says, why don't you rate Talakai in the outside backs? He's not fast enough. And he's a better attacking threat in the middle, in my opinion. If you've ever seen Talakai started in the forwards with the Sharks, and that's where he belongs. He belongs crash balls up the middle. He's a little bit too slow, and he doesn't have the hands for a modern-day centre. And the interesting thing is the Sharks are going to lose a very good young prospect. Oh, bum crack. It's Wade Graham's. That's really not exciting at all. Really not exciting. Sorry, Wade, but yeah. I do apologise, Wade Graham, but yours is not a butt crack that any of us particularly want to see. What was I on about? Oh, yeah, Talakai's a forward. He was a forward. They played him in the centres a couple of years ago out of necessity because so many outside backs fell over injured. They played Manly. He absolutely dominated Morgan Harper. It's the only good game that he's ever had at centre. And it was a brilliant game. Look, I'm not going to lie. Talakai that night was immense. He had about 100 line breaks. Scored a couple of tries. Many try assists. He had just a phenomenal night. He made Morgan Harper his bitch that night. And they've persisted with him in the centres ever since. The fact of the matter is, he was only ever meant to be a fill-in. He had such a good game that they persisted with him there. But ever since, he has just stunk the joint up. And remember, he got selected for Origin. Freddie saw that one game and picked him in Origin, because that's what Freddie does, makes horrible selections at Origin time. And he stunk the Origin arena up as well. He's not a centre. Not a centre. He's a forward. He belongs in the forwards. And they need to send him back to the forwards where he came from, in my opinion. Anyway, Sharks retain the dropout. Finucane breaks through the first tackle. Breaks through the second tackle. He's cut down just short of the line. Finucane. A couple of metres out. Brayley. Talakai cutting back in field. Talakai playing like a forward. Speak of the devil. Talakai with the crash ball cutting back in field like a front rower would do. And funnily enough, look at that, he scores a try. And this is going to be a very nervous conversion for Nicholas. Brayley running across the face of the defence. And look at that, Talakai on the crash ball, playing like a forward because he is a forward. Look at him, the big son of a bitch. Why wouldn't he be a forward? Forward play 101, cutting back in field on the crash ball. Oh, and look at the slobber coming out of his mouth. Oh, he's rabid. 38 points to 16. The kick to come. This is a huge, huge kick for Nicholas. It is just to the left of the posts. We're about 15 metres in from touch. Nicho Hines as a right-footed kicker. It's on his favoured side. It should be. I'm sorry to tell you, Nicholas, this should be an easy conversion. Let's see. Hines moves back. Moves in, strikes it, and just shaves it inside the left-hand upright. And the Sharks bring up the 40. 40 points to 16. Sharks over the Dragons. Oh, God. Multis are heartbreaking, aren't they? All right. I'll be right back.
Coming up. So off to Mark. We'll have to get this weekend. Lucy on the run. There's the Cronulla bunch of tries. 3 of the last 15 for the first half, with now 3 in the space, 12 minutes here. Their buys out. Be in action again next week when they take on the Tigers on Thursday night.
Oh, the Sharks on the attack. Again, it's going to set up for Mulatalo. Mulatalo potentially gets his second. We're going to have a look at the onside here. He might have just been a foot, not a foot distance. I mean, he may have had his foot in front of Talakai. He might be offside here, Mulatalo. He gets the second kick in, and I think Mulatalo... Oh, Mulatalo might have just overrun this. Mulatalo might have just ever so slightly overrun this ball. But James, I tell you what, if this try is awarded, James, there is 8.5 minutes left on the clock. And the only leg of the... If in the next 8.5 minutes, Katoa or Mulatalo bag another try, the only thing that I missed out on in the multi was Kennedy, first, second, or third try scorer. So it wasn't as ridiculous as you were making out. Try has been confirmed. Good night, Game ML. Hines with the successful conversion right down the middle. 46 points to 16. Nelson asks, how many tries will the Sharkies score in the last 15 minutes? Well, it's really opened up now, hasn't it? I reckon they're good for one more. The Sharks aren't really the sort of team that... I'm pretty sure you did, James. Unless you were talking to somebody else. And I just thought you were talking to me. You very specifically said there was no way that bet was ever paying out. And I thought that was about my multi that I had just gone through. Shack of Hearts says, seems like an age since the Sharks made a meal of the ball in the first set. It was very alarming signs for all Sharks supporters. Losing possession in the first set of 6 of the game. And then giving up points in their very first defensive set. You thought it was going to be a long old night, but they certainly turned it around, didn't they? 7 minutes to go until full time. They're all offside here on the left-hand edge. I think Talakai realised it. He stopped. Oh, no, James. No. 3 combined. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I probably didn't do a very good job of explaining that. Because it's a new market that Sportsbet offer. It's a new market on Sportsbet. You can combine players. It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, not 3+ tries each. No, sorry, mate. No, 3 between the two of them. Yeah, it's actually a really good market. So you can pick your 2 players and whatever you expect them to do between the 2 of them. And you can also do anytime try scorer AB. So I could have theoretically had, and this would have actually paid out. I could have actually had on that bet, rather than Kennedy, first, second, or third try scorer, I could have had Kennedy or Ravalawa. Kennedy or Ravalawa, first, second, or third try scorer. And it wouldn't have paid out as much, obviously. I went for the big $50 payout, $50 to the dollar. That probably would have brought it down to around about 25, but it still would have been good, wouldn't it? 25 is still good. I don't bother with anything less than 20, but 25 is still good. So, yeah, that's an option. On reflection, the benefit of hindsight, that's something I could have done just to protect myself a little bit from from the Dragons getting off to the red hot start that they did. Maybe, yeah, Kennedy, Ravalawa. Vopsy says, "Hey Dan, who is playing on the left side for the Sharks?" That would be Mulatalo out there. Mulatalo and Talakai. And the reason I went for Katoa and Ramian so heavily is because of how weak the Dragons' left edge defense is. Because the Dragons' left edge defense is the Sharks' right-hand attack, which is Katoa and Ramian. If only we were Marty McFly, traveling forward in time, getting the sports almanac, and knowing all the results and winning big. 1,628 run meters for the Sharks tonight. To the Dragons, 900. Big difference there. Oh, now here they go through the left again. Moylan is out there on the wing. Inside ball to Brayley. Brayley's got Wilton running off his shoulder. And the Sharks tackle 3. They could come away with another one here. I did say they might be good for one more. Oh, they've got numbers galore out to the right. Nakura's going to get a double. Nakura's going to get a double, and the Sharks get another one. That's the 50. Put a line through the Dragons for the premiership this season. The Sharks bring up the 50. Oh, Ben Hunt was way up out of the line there. What was he doing? And he's having a little dance there too. Some interpretive dance from Ben Hunt in midfield as he was caught in no man's land. Try confirmed. The 50 is up. The Dragons are done for the year. As if we didn't already know. Well, my multi wasn't as far off as it was looking at halftime. It's done quite well. And I've got my cash back in the form of a bonus bet. Thank you, SportsBet. Any leg fails, you get your money back. So I'll be able to use that to... Well, actually, I'll tell you what I do, because here's the thing. When you get your money returned in the form of a bonus bet, if you use that bonus bet, right, you can't get a bet return on the bonus bet, right? That's the way it works. You can't get a bet return on a bonus bet. As Nico Hines successfully converts, and it's 52 points to 16. The Sharkies. A game that they really had to win. They had to win. So, obviously, you can't put a bet return on your bonus bets. So, what I do is I take the bonus bet and I put it on a sure thing. I'm talking something that only pays out... It only pays out... Oh, here's the kickoff. Geez, a little bit of a mess there from the Sharks. Just talking about sports betting, Michelle. Because, I mean, this game was over as a contest a long time ago. Well, I suppose we can talk about the weekend coming up and what games I'll be covering. So I'll do both games tomorrow. Oh, a penalty for the Sharks here on halfway. Finucane taken without the ball. Yeah, so tomorrow we've got the Warriors versus the Rabbitohs, which I actually think is going to be a pretty decent game. The Warriors at home, in form. The Rabbitohs traditionally don't go well over in New Zealand. And they're not playing well in general at the moment. The wheels have well and truly fallen off for the Rabbitohs. So that could potentially be a very good game. And then, of course, the Melbourne Storm versus the Penrith Panthers, which, as I have stated, is my prediction for the grand final this year. Panthers and Storm are just way ahead of the pack at the moment. Saturday, I won't be doing any games. Oh, maybe. No, I won't do any games Saturday. I think I might have somewhere to be. I'm not sure. I feel like I've got somewhere to be on Saturday. Oh, he's been taken high. Send him off. Send him off. And then Sunday, I'm pretty keen actually on the Sea Eagles Roosters game Sunday. So there we go. I will endeavour to do both games tomorrow. Unfortunately, there'll be nothing happening on Saturday. Well, not unfortunately. The games are crap. What am I apologising for? Saturday's games are terrible. What is it? Yeah, Raiders, Titans. Cowboys, Tigers. Broncos, Dolphins. Yeah, so Saturday's pretty crap, actually. Yeah, not at Suncorp, but they've lucked out again, haven't they, the Broncos? They've lucked out again. They've got the Dolphins, who have been absolutely decimated with injury and have taken under strength to brand new definitions at the moment, the Dolphins. I mean, there's under strength, and then there's the Dolphins right now. Completely decimated with injury. Souths have won 13 from their last 14 matches against the Warriors. Yeah, but how many of those have been in New Zealand? I reckon the Warriors are going to get over the top of them. I really do. Souths have been absolutely abysmal the past few weeks. Full time here, 52 points to 16. The Sharks bring up 50, so put a line through the Dragons for the premiership this season. Oh, spare me chicken account, ahoy. How are you doing? I do remember you. I was going to say, it's been a while, mate. How have you been? What the hell are you guys talking about? Oh, cricket. Finch and that other idiot looked like they picked up each other's jackets. Yawn. I'll tell you what, I might actually do some of the Cricket World Cup, but, oh my God, this Ashes has been boring, hasn't it? I blame England for that. It's England's fault with this Bazball. This Bazball nonsense. Why in Christ's name? Why in God's name do you declare your innings? I know they were nearly all out, but why you declare your first innings under 400? Jesus H Christ. Yep. Anyway. Spare me chicken. Oh, hey, I remember you now. It's very specifically. I remembered your username because Spare Me Chicken account is a very memorable username. That's not a name you forget. But now I remember specifically the conversation we probably had. you asked about the Bulldogs back then, didn't you? And I whipped out the old Bulldogs flag. And I had it on my green screen behind me for a little bit of time, if I'm not mistaken. The old school 90s Bulldogs supporters flag. Yes, I remember that very well now. I think the Bulldogs have been very disappointing, to be perfectly honest. They've been very disappointing. But to be fair, they've also had a very, very bad run with injuries, haven't they? Let's be honest. The Bulldogs have had, at one point in time, I'm not even exaggerating here, at one particular point in time, the Bulldogs had somewhere in the range of $6 or $7 million worth of contracted money injured on the sidelines. Kick out, the Fox was out, Burton was out at the time. Like, they had so many injuries, so many millions of dollars of the salary cap was out injured. And I think, in all honesty, short-term pain for long-term gain. The fact that it forced them into blooding some new players, and they've uncovered some great new talent. Carraz, for example, is somebody who probably wouldn't have got the opportunity were it not for all the injuries. Jake Averillo is going to the Dolphins, I think, in 2024. Well, yeah, I mean, that probably can't be helped. But look, you've got some good players coming in next year as well, just to add to the list. I think for the Bulldogs, they're still just missing a halfback, aren't they? It's the last piece of the puzzle, is that consistent big name halfback. If they can fill that void, that will definitely be premiership material. James says, how do we get on to talking about the Bulldogs? Well, I'm not going to talk about the Ashes. Shambles that is. I'll talk about the Cricket World Cup. I'll tell you, we've got some good stuff coming up. Wasted World of Sports, Rugby World Cup, of course, the Rugby Championship and the Rugby World Cup coming up. And, my mum's not interested in being on the stream, actually. Intoxy Mum's not as outgoing as the Intoxy Dad. Intoxy Dad's got a taste for the limelight, so he's like, I'm coming back for game 3. It would be interesting to get Intoxy Mum on here sometime. She would actually just sit in the back. I'm pretty sure. Actually, this is a true story. This is a true story about my parents, all right? So, I had tickets to the Super Rugby, and the friends that I was originally going with backed out at the very last minute, which was very, very typical of said friends at the time. And so I said to my parents, hey, do you guys want to come along to the footy on the weekend? Now, Dad was obviously interested, but Mum was a bit like, well, look, I'll come along just to hang out, but I'm not interested. I am not even goddamn joking. Okay, we're at Suncorp Stadium for the Queensland Reds versus the Crusaders. My mum, I'm not even kidding. My mum has a book. My mum is sitting there next to us in the grandstand with a book, a goddamn book, at the footy. I couldn't believe it. So, I should imagine that if Intoxy Mum were ever on the streams, she would be in the background, sitting on the couch, reading a book. True story, that. True story. She took a goddamn book to the footy at Suncorp Stadium. Oh, boy. So, yes, I very much doubt that we would ever see the Intoxy Mum on the streams. But, yeah, Intoxy Dad is definitely up for State of Origin number 3. I said, hey, Michelle, you weren't here for this because My parents were around for dinner last night, and I was talking about Origin number 3, and I said how I'm not really interested because it's a dead rubber, but I basically have to cover it, don't I? For the purposes of the channel, I basically have to cover the damn thing. And Dad goes, oh, I do. If I'm serious about making this a proper thing, which I am, I kind of do have to, I'm afraid. But I digress. But yeah, Dad's like, oh, can't help but notice that I haven't been invited. Am I invited for Game 3? Can't help but notice that I haven't had an invite yet. Am I welcome? I said, oh, I didn't mention it because I didn't think you'd be interested. Like, Dad is a diehard Blues supporter. I didn't think you'd be interested that it's a dead rubber. He's like, oh, I don't care if it's a dead rubber. I want to smash him. I said, oh, well, okay. Well, yeah, you're more than welcome to. I want to win. I want to smash him. I'm like, I really don't think we're going to smash him, but I think the best that we can hope for is just not be embarrassed completely. I'll tell you what, talking about embarrassing, though, apparently, rumor has it that we're not even talking about Freddie getting the sack. Apparently, Freddie is going to retain his job next season, but they're going to bring in Brian Smith as a coaching advisor above him. So Brian Smith is not actually going to do the coaching, but he's going to oversee the whole thing. So the way that I sort of envision that working is Freddie would say something ridiculous like, oh, I'm going to put Damien Cook in the centres. And Brian Smith would say, are you goddamn insane? Why would you do that? This is what you actually need. Like, so someone just advise, which I kind of look at and go, what's the bloody point? What's the point of that? Why bother? Why not just have Brian Smith do the goddamn job? Look, we all know what I think. I still think that the coaching staff should be Jeff Tuvey, Michael Checker, Boyd Cordner. But if they're talking about Brian Smith in a coaching advisor's role, I guess it would be similar to what the Tigers have got going on with Benji Marshall and Tim Sheens at the moment. But why not just have Brian Smith do the goddamn job? What is the point if you don't have enough faith in Freddie to make the right calls, that you need to put somebody above him to monitor him? Just have that person above him in the job. Surely. I mean, that makes sense, doesn't it? Anyway, I digress. Nelson Saga says, full-time bingo. I bet Parramatta Eels will meet Warriors in the NRL Grand Final. Nelson, I'm telling you, put money on it. I am serious. Everybody jump on it. You've heard it here first. Penrith Panthers, Melbourne Storm, Grand Final. I have crunched the numbers. I have played the NRL.com ladder predictor ad nauseum. No matter which way I bend and fold the goddamn thing, we fall on a Panthers Storm Grand Final. It's happening. Penrith versus Melbourne in the Grand Final, season 2023. Lock it in. Lock it in. It's happening. All right. Do we have any other topics of conversation before I head off? I'll have a quick break Feel free to fire anything away into the chat room. I'm going to have a quick break because I need to go pee-pee. And yeah, I'll be right back. Any other topics of conversation that aren't Reece Walsh and aren't State of Origin? That'd be nice. Be right back.
Well, Joey, yes, I'd like to see him at fullback. Oh, yeah. Teddy, a little bit of spell. Is that a spell or you don't think that? No, the centers. Teddy, really crap defensively in the centers. Teddy fan. It's a hard position within the centers. One of those ones. Something fancy.
Oh, God, spillage. Spillage. Bloody big time spillage. Oh, Vobsy, I honestly reckon Tommy Turbo, you hate to see it, and I hate to say it, but Tommy Turbo is surely on the brink of early retirement, surely. Like, you hate to see it. You really do. But, I mean, honestly, how long can he keep going on? How long can he honestly keep going on when he keeps getting busted every season, at least once? It feels like every season, at least once, he is out for some extended period with some sort of injury. I mean, how long can you honestly keep that up? And it's sad. It is very, very sad to see. But we have to be realistic. Players who get constant concussions get forced into early retirement, and it would be the same with soft tissue injuries. So many soft tissue injuries for Tommy Turbo. He just seems to break down all the time. I do really wonder how much time he's got left. Ahoy there, Papa. What was the halftime score? 24 points to 10 in favor of the Sharks. 24-10 at halftime, Papa. At halftime in favor of the Sharks. Shack of Hearts, you've got Super Rugby Pacific / Rugby Championship Judiciary News. What have you got there, Shack of Hearts? What have you got for us? I'm very excited for the Rugby Championship to start. The All Blacks will be very, very hard. Oh, spillage. The All Blacks will be very, very difficult to beat indeed. When does the Cricket World Cup start? I reckon we can get some guest hosts in for the cricket. We might even be able to get. We might even be able to coax Michelle back for the cricket, huh? What do you reckon, Michelle? You would do a cricket stream? I understand that the rugby league is a bit. Yes to cricket. I understand you're a bit upset with the NRL at the moment, but I reckon we could do a cricket stream. It would need to be in teams, I reckon. Okay, so Shack of Hearts. The All Blacks will be without Anton Leonard-Brown for at least 2 games. Well, that's all right. Oh, in commentary teams, Michelle. I mean, like, games of cricket are so goddamn long. Like, even a T20 game was honestly too much for me to do when I did a couple of those big bash games. So, I mean, I think that there needs to be... Like, there's a mate of mine I know who would be interested. So just like they do on the actual telecast, we've got to change the commentary teams around throughout the course of the stream, is what I mean. I can't do the whole thing. I'm not interested in doing the whole thing. That's what I mean. Okay, so the All Blacks will be without Anton Leonard-Brown. That's fine. Spillage. It's pretty much just constant spillage at this point of time in the night. Yeah, careless high tackle in the 9th minute of the Super Rugby Pacific Grand Final. All right, Wasted World of Sports. Very much appreciate your company as always. I think we've pretty much... Things are getting weird in the chat room. So, I think we've reached the very brink of conversational pieces for the night. I'll be back tomorrow for Friday night footy. Both games, Warriors, Rabbitohs, and a prelude to this year's grand final. Trust me, prelude to this year's grand final. Panthers versus Storm. It's happening. It's going to be a big, big night of streams tomorrow. I'll catch you then, huh? Thank you very much for joining me for this one. Wasted World of Sports. Yeah, see you tomorrow.